thick skin to get there, and this is late at night. There are some off-color comments. Even Bill O'Reilly has come out and said tonight even that Larry Wilmore was coming from an affectionate place, that if you read these remarks in context, it's not that bad. What really ticks me off, frankly, is when people like Kevin, black conservatives, come on TV and say the Black Lives Matter protesters are being too sensitive when they protest somebody who basically has been shot, an unarmed black kid has been shot. But yet, when a comedian uses a bad word, all of a sudden they're protesting. Methinks thou dost protest too much.
I need to point out that the word that was used was the N-word because we bleeped it out, and I just want to make it clear to everybody home so they know what we're talking about. But Kevin, weigh in on this because I tell my kids never to use that word. Right? So then they see this on the dais and they say, like, well, how come some people can use it and other people can't use it? And it's funny when some people use it. It sends a it's kind of a divisive message, actually, because it makes you feel like, that there are different rules for different people, and if you're, if you can get away with it, then it's okay. Explain.
Well, it is divisive, and to Mark's point about Black Lives Matter, it's a fake movement that never should exist. Because it's not based on any factual information. In fact, it's the opposite, but just to cover that little bit of a comment. But as far as this goes, it's very simple. Ask Mark two questions. One, what if a white comedian had done it and said exactly the same thing and the same jokes? Could he have gotten away with it?
Absolutely
the answer is
not.
Absolutely not.
Right, absolutely
and
not.
secondarily, not to be interrupted, Mark, but secondarily, if a white comedian had said, hey, you're my cracker, to George Bush as he was walking off, as if it's, hey, we're the same people, or something like that, he would have been excoriated for that as well. The fact of the matter is, Larry Wilmore essentially knew that all those correspondents, all these great supposed journalists, could not say what he just said to the president and get away with it. This is essentially the wussification of America, where if you say something that is politically incorrect, people will get fired over this. Paula Dean lost her career at one point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sterling lost his team, and many other things like this.
Just a second. Besides the fact that, I think it's divisive in many ways, is I agree with, in some ways, he was trying to give the president a big compliment, and then he finished it off with that sort of tasteless comment, which was very unnecessary. But I think he was having a tough time up there. People weren't really laughing that much.
Right.
And I think the president was sort of just trying to be gracious at the end and kind of make him feel better, and not sort of wince when he used that phrase. That was my take on it. Mark.
Yeah, it's possible. Look, Larry Wilmore is a skilled comedian, but he had something going against him, which is he was following the president,
who was very funny.
Who was actually very funny. Even if you think that this is the the horrible, no good, the worst president we've ever had, go Google after the show is over the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Watch what the president's performance. It was pretty good.
We got to leave it there, guys. But I like the old roast. I like like Don Rickles and Dean Martin, because those guys were funny and they could do it without being rude and mean.
It was 11
and all these White House dinners are always rude and mean now, so I kind of don't get it.
I hope your kids were in bed by then. It was 11. It was 11.
Thanks, you guys. Good to see you both. So over the weekend, Bill Clinton offered his first